Viewmasters, it's the podcast that we do. Viewmasters, talk about movies that we view. Viewmasters, my friend Eric and me, Joe. Viewmasters, hey, let's start the show.
Hey, welcome to the Viewmasters, episode 289, Eternals. My name is Eric.
My name is Joe.
Hello, Joe.
Hello, Eric.
This is gonna be a fun one.
You sound skeptical of your own statements.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where I was going with that.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Oh, not bad.
That's good. Considering you just watched The Eternals.
You know what? For the second time.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Not really.
Okay. I watched it yesterday, also for the second time, so.
Okay.
This is our first Marvel movie.
Yeah, I guess it is. Not our first superhero movie, but our first Marvel movie.
Yeah, and then maybe our first Marvel thing ever.
Maybe, actually, yeah.
Because for a newer listener, I don't know who the fuck you are, but we started out as a Justice League podcast called League Night. And then we just did other TV shows, and we eventually hit again on Batman Brave and the Bold. And then we've covered 3 or 4 DC movies at this point now.
Yeah, a couple of Wonder Woman movies and the Suicide Squad that I can think of.
Steel.
Oh, right, of course. The best one. How could I forget that one?
I mean...
I'm ashamed.
Compared to some of the others, it was definitely the best.
That's true.
Yeah. So yeah, we are DC boys, but we've not touched on any Marvel stuff, which is a little weird, I guess.
A little bit, just given how sort of ubiquitous Marvel stuff is now.
Exactly,
in the culture.
It's not like we've been avoiding it. Of course, we started just as the pandemic started as well, so
right.
There was no Marvel stuff for quite a while.
Yeah,
and then the unfortunate thing with Marvel movies is that if you don't go see them opening weekend, you're kind of fucked.
Right. At least spoiler wise.
Right. Exactly.
They still show the movies after opening weekend.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just, why bother? Because you already know everything that's going to happen.
Exactly, and it's a pain in the ass because it's either avoid the internet altogether or rush out as soon as possible.
Right.
And,
or I mean, in the case of this movie, be on the internet maybe a week or two before it even comes out and get stuff spoiled for you by critics.
Really?
Yeah, there was the mid-credit scene was completely spoiled by a critic from some big outlet, like after the premiere of the movie.
Huh. I guess somehow I missed that. I actually kind of missed everything about the Eternals, and this was before I abandoned social media.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how that worked out. Because I know it was tough to avoid Spider-Man and Black Widow stuff.
Right.
And I don't know. I guess I just felt like nobody was talking about this or Shang-Chi. So I just never heard anything about it until I actually watched them.
Yeah, I with the movie's out now. It's on Disney Plus, so we can just talk about it openly. I think that's fine.
Oh, we're gonna spoil the fuck out of this.
Okay, good. The Harry Styles as Star Fox thing.
Yeah.
was like I mostly saw the reaction to that spoiler and then got spoiled by people being mad about having it spoiled.
Right.
So that's fun.
That's, I mean, I think usually how it goes.
Right.
So I saw this in the theater, actually. It was my personal return to theaters.
Nice.
After the pandemic, which is a joke because it's still going.
Right. Oh, I laugh because otherwise I would kill everyone.
And I think I talked about it briefly the week after I saw it. It was not a fun theater experience.
Right.
Because
movies are back.
Movies are back, exactly. And so we'll just talk about the mid-credit scene here for a second.
Sure.
When it happened, I heard Patton Oswalt's voice.
Right.
And got a little bit excited about that because I enjoy Patton Oswalt.
Sure.
I had no idea why he looked like Seth Green and was terrifying looking, but and then Star Fox shows up, and I'm like, hey, I know who that guy is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend was also very excited, but for entirely different reasons.
Sure.
Because she doesn't know who the hell fucking Star Fox is.
I mean, had he not been introduced specifically as, whatever, Eros of Titan, brother of Thanos,
yeah,
no one would have known who that is.
Also very true. But me, I'm a nerd. I know Star Fox.
Right.
And so I had to ask, why did you get so excited?
I would not have been able to pick him out of a lineup, probably.
I had no idea who the fuck he is.
I've heard his name. I think he's in a band. Is it One Direction, maybe?
I don't know.
I know he's not a Jonas brother, because his last name is not Jonas.
It's usually a dead giveaway.
Unless it's like a Mumford and Sons thing where they're not actually related. I don't know that any of them are named Mumford. Maybe one of them is. I don't know.
But they're probably all sons, right?
I mean, they're all somebody's sons. It's actually just a landscaping business. And they play music on the sides. That's why they're not good. Because they're primarily landscapers.
Well, we've cracked the riddle. Oh, and I honestly thought you actually were a fan of theirs.
No, I had a maybe 2-week Mumford and Sons period where I enjoyed them. But that was before I realized that their whole shtick is banjo.
Ah, yeah.
And it's just the same banjo part on every song.
Okay.
They learned to play one thing on the banjo.
If you played for me their entire discography right now, I could not tell you that it was actually them. If you said, this is Mumford and Sons, while you were playing it, I would still say, I've never heard this.
There are other bands. I've been thinking specifically of the Avett brothers, who actually are brothers, who do what the Mumford and Sons people do 100 times better. So I will listen to them. Mumford and Sons tricked me for a minute.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you escaped.
I got through the Mad Weary.
Yes. But yeah, so I had no idea who the fuck Harry Styles is. I still don't. She sort of explained it to me. I was like, okay, all I know is that that's Star Fox and he's raping.
Oh, yikes. I know he has like pheromones that he uses. Yeah, that's awkward.
Yeah, like she told me that. I was like, oh, well, he's the most rapiest character in the Marvel Comics universe. Yeah.
He's the Pepe Le Pew of the Marvel universe.
He really is.
Except he smells good.
Yeah. I was like, honestly, I was more excited about Pip. It's too bad that they didn't finish him.
Right. He'll be back, probably.
Probably. I was kind of hoping that, on this second rewatch, now that it's on Disney Plus, that maybe, they went back and tweaked, but no.
No, not so much. I appreciated how comic accurate Star Fox's outfit was.
Yeah, I mean, definitely more than any of the Eternals in the movie.
Yeah, like when I read that Star Fox is in the movie and that it was Harry Styles, like I imagine him as just like, maybe he's just like wearing a suit or something,
right?
Not an actual comic book costume. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, it could have used a nice golden fox on his chest, but
well, sure.
I guess I can't be too picky.
He'll get that in the next movie.
Hopefully.
He hasn't earned that yet.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I was excited by Pip. But then as I was watching it this time, I was really thrown off by the fact that he's got Seth Green's face.
It is very strange.
Yeah. But yeah, so Eternals. So like I said, this is my second time. You said it's your second time. When was your first time?
My first time was not this past weekend, but the previous weekend.
Okay.
Because a little behind the scenes for the listener, we delayed our recording of this episode for a week due to illness.
Yes.
So I mostly just watched it again today for a refresher.
Gotcha.
And I will be completely honest with you. I slept for about an hour of it today.
Okay. So I'll be completely honest with you. I slept about an hour of it the first time.
Oh, wow. So excited to be back in a theater.
Because as I was watching it this second time, I was like, there are whole swaths of this movie that I did not remember ever existing.
Multiple flashbacks you had never seen before.
Yes. I mean, seriously, just entire scenes. I was like, wait, I don't remember this at all.
They got married? What?
Oh, so Joe?
Yes.
I did not care for this movie.
It was fine. Yeah, it was fine.
I will say, second viewing, I did like it better the first time than the first time.
Okay.
Maybe because
you saw more of it this time.
Yeah. There was one scene that I did doze through this second time around, though, so, it's still a really long and boring movie.
Yes.
But this time, the only scene that I fell asleep in was when the flashback to Icarus and Ajax in South Dakota.
Oh, like the most crucial flashback.
Yes. But I had stayed awake for it the first time, so, I knew what I was missing.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's good.
It all worked out, I guess.
Yeah, it's way too long.
Yes.
And I feel like there are, like, the flashbacks, I don't know if they're really needed. Or at least to the extent that they are relied on, I don't know that they're needed.
They really aren't. But also at the same time, I kept thinking that I liked these a lot better than like the main story.
Yeah.
Like it gave the movie a little bit of a Highlander vibe.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the thing about taking out the flashbacks is you really lose the experience, the eternal experience of the Eternals.
Right.
Like seeing them throughout history and not aging.
Yeah. The main issue I think I had with it is that even back when they are, in like 500 AD or whatever, they're still saying that they've been around for 7,000 years.
Yeah.
Which is like, your math is fucked.
Look, they're aliens. Numbers are different. I feel like the movie gets off to a bad start with the exposition dump via text cards.
Never a good start. No.
Not so much.
No, yeah.
Many a how did this get made movie starts with exposition dumps via text cards, so you're not in a good spot at that point. Especially since I feel like that's all information that we pretty much get later in the movie at some point.
Yeah, I mean, there are several exposition dumps throughout the 2 hour and 40-minute runtime.
Right.
Like I almost feel like every time they go and talk to a new Eternal, like we sort of get like a new summary of everything that's happened up to that point that we've already seen.
Yeah.
It's just this movie's kind of a slog.
Yeah. Do you think that I didn't see who wrote it. I know Chloe Zhao.
Yeah.
Directed it. Academy Award winning director of Nomadland.
A movie I have not seen, but
I really liked Nomadland.
Yeah.
It was very good. It is also kind of meandering,
okay.
But I think that works for it because it's called Nomadland.
Well, yeah,
so.
I would expect that.
But like, I wonder if she was like, all right, I made this. I typically make these sort of art movies. Now I'm making a big blockbuster general consumption movie, so I really need to dumb it down. So let's really just make sure that everything is explained clearly multiple times. So
the movie, she did some rewrites with, I guess, her writing partner.
Okay.
But the story was written by two other people. I have a feeling that somebody thought that this movie was too smart.
Sure.
It is not.
It's really not.
It is pretty fucking simple. But somebody said people are going to get like lost and confused. Dumb it down.
Which, I mean, to be fair, people are stupid.
Fair.
So it's always a possibility.
You're right, but you should also just trust the audience too.
To a certain degree.
Yeah. 4 or 5 exposition dumps, probably could have been taken out.
Probably.
I don't know. So, like, my first reaction after walking out of this movie, after learning who Harry Styles is,
sure,
and then having to explain who Black Knight is,
yeah, Martin Lawrence,
was my first thought on it was that Marvel finally made their DC movie.
They really did. That was sort of the feeling that I got too, and not just because several of the characters are basically Wonder Woman and Superman. Yeah. But it's almost like Justice League in that it's introducing all of these characters, none of whom are particularly well developed, other than maybe like Circe and Icarus. and yeah, it's just dull.
It is. Well, I think the cinematography in the movie is really, really excellent.
Yeah,
But it is also a colorless, paletless, dreary affair. And once again, in just cinema in general, we get another evil asshole Superman.
right.
And like when that happened, I just kind of just theoretically threw my hands up in the air and just said, fuck it all. And of course, then I did read that Chloe Zhao was influenced by Zack Snyder's take on Superman in Man of Steel.
Okay,
Towards the character of Icarus.
interesting.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, it is. There are light moments, and there is some humor, but for the most part, it is a very self-serious, dreary affair. and I just like. I know that there is definitely a segment of the population that is like, well, Marvel needs to change up their shit sometimes.
Sure.
But also it can be good.
Yeah, I'm all for variety of genre and tone, as long as it's well done.
Exactly. And like, while also watching this, like I kept going back initially and thinking about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my experience as a comic book fan with Eternals is that I've read the initial Jack Kirby comics.
Okay.
And I read like one of the like mid 2000s reboots that Marvel has done or attempted.
Yeah.
And I think I did read the Neil Gaiman John Romita Jr. Series that they did.
Okay.
And I've never really liked any of them.
Yeah, it's never really grabbed me either.
Yeah.
Admittedly, all that I have read until recently is the Neil Gaiman John Romita Jr. series. After watching the movie, I started reading the Kirby stuff just to see how similar it was, and I actually am really enjoying reading those.
I mean, they are enjoyable for just the pure Kirby of them.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it's his strongest stuff either. But it is also, I feel like, from what I remember, total whiplash.
Yeah.
Compared to the movie.
Yeah, definitely.
And not that it's a wacky comedy or anything like that, but it is just bombastic and crazy, and bright and colorful, and this is gray.
Yeah, well, and I feel like also just like having semi recently read the first couple issues of it, I feel like it just starts and it goes,
right,
and it goes and it goes and it goes and it goes,
yeah.
and this movie, very much not that.
It meanders.
Yeah, it really does.
And so that all said, like I think I could only name before this movie like 4 Eternal characters. And
that's more than I could have, probably.
Right? And so like these are not characters that I particularly am enamored with or remember or in general, just I'm not familiar with them. And so like I can't point to, well, I didn't like this because it's not the same as the comic, Yeah. Because, like, I don't really care about the comics. But I can say the exact same thing about Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, those are all characters that I had almost no familiarity with whatsoever. But by the end of that first movie, like, you have grown to love and care about all of them.
Yeah.
Like these weird ass characters, and yet here with Eternals, like by the end of this movie, like I still didn't give a crap.
Is the problem that there are too many Eternals?
There are more than there should be, for sure.
I feel like there were several points in the movie where, like, I would just try and sort of keep stock of, okay, this is this character's name and what they can do.
Right.
Like, I feel like the Eternals need a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle style song that tells you all of their names and all of their shticks. And I feel like just adding that over the credits would have really helped.
Maybe instead of, the text dump about, what their story is, they should have just had, like, character cards.
Yes. That would work too. Oh, man.
And then, like, for half of the movie, some of them just, like, are not in the movie, are not characters at all.
Yeah, I completely forgot about Donatello, or whatever his name is, the guy that does machines. Like, completely forgot about him.
It's funny you mention that, because, like, at the beginning of the movie, like the first scene where they show up and they save the Neanderthal humans, or whatever the fuck they are, from the generic CG monsters.
Yes.
Which is another big issue with this movie.
Absolutely. I was surprised upon starting to read the Kirby comics that the deviants have names and are discernible from each other.
Yep. And here they are wiggly dog monsters. Some of them have wings.
They're basically Michael Bay Transformers, but
they are.
organic.
Yeah. So like there's the hero shot where like all 13 characters stand in front of, the in awe humans, and I paused it and I just wanted to like for myself entirely, just like go through and count them and figure out what their names were. And it was the machine guy. Totally blanked. He is the only one.
I can't remember his name. There are many of them that I can't remember their names.
Machine guy, his name is Fastos.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to try and name them all now.
Okay, all right.
So we got Fastos, who is the machine guy.
He does machines, yes.
He's my favorite one, clearly. Icarus is Superman.
Yep.
Thena, not Athena,
right,
is Wonder Woman. Yeah. You got Circe, who is Kree.
What?
No, because Gemma Chan was one of the Kree warriors in Captain Marvel as well.
Okay, all right.
Kingo? Is that's Kumail Nanjiani?
Yes.
Druig is the weird talking guy. I found his voice very, very strange.
He's got a weird accent.
Or just like the way that, like, he sounds like he's drunk all the time.
Yeah, Irish.
Yeah, all right, fine. I'm terrible. I just remembered Sprite.
Yep.
That's one.
Well, she's tasty and refreshing.
Right. Love that Lyman. There's the fast one.
Yeah.
Makari?
Yes.
Okay. No idea how I knew that. Literally. Maybe I saw an action figure.
It's possible.
So let's see, that's 8? There's one that I had completely forgotten about until they were talking about him in the final battle after I woke up, is Gilgamesh.
Yes.
Who is Thena's husband, I guess?
Not really. Just
friend?
Caretaker.
Caretaker, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know his deal, though. I don't know what his thing is.
He's just super strong.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He does the punch.
Yep. He does the punch.
The energy punch. He does the punch. That's a t-shirt. Is that all of them?
There's one more.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Did I miss Circe?
Nope.
No, I said Circe already.
Yep.
Fuck, there's one more. I have no idea.
Ajax,
Honestly.
the leader.
Oh, fuck, Ajax.
Salma Hayek.
Right.
Yeah. She heals, I guess.
Okay.
I think that's her deal.
Okay. Yeah, forgot all about her.
Yep.
And then there's Dane Whitman.
Yep. And of course, Kingo's valet.
Of course. Who is great.
He really is.
He might have been the best part of the movie.
He really was. So there's like 3-4 characters in this movie that I actually liked.
Okay.
It was, the valet. I liked Kingo.
I liked Kingo too. I thought he would be more comic relief than he was. Right. But he's still really good.
Yes. And maybe that was it, actually.
Just those two. What about Crow? The head deviant.
Yeah. Because I love weird CGI monsters in the dark.
You love deviants.
Sure.
You relate to them.
I do. Yeah, no, I guess that is it. I kind of liked Druig a little bit, and I did like Gilgamesh a lot.
I completely forgot about him.
I thought he had a nice personality, so of course he was the one that dies.
Of course.
Yeah. And then they all go out and do stuff. And then occasionally fight random deviants, and they come up with a dumb plan.
The Unimind.
Yeah.
Well, so they discover that they've been tricked.
Yeah. Everything they know is a lie, which is never a good plot twist for anything.
No?
Especially when you don't know about or give a shit about any of the characters.
Yeah, if they had been a little better developed, then it might have hit harder.
Right.
I do think it's an interesting twist.
Yeah.
It just kind of lands with a thud.
It really does. So yeah, it turns out they're just robots, sort of.
Yeah.
So there are beings called the Celestials who essentially create planets.
Right.
And inside each of those planets is a little baby celestial that's it's growing.
Yeah, I did not realize this was a Hollow Earth movie. that the Marvel Universe is a Hollow Earth universe.
Well, it is now that Neil Adams has taken over.
Right. I mean, I guess it explains like the Mole Man and stuff. Maybe they're setting up the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
Savage Land.
Right, that's true.
Yeah. So, yeah, they've got some Hollow Earth stuff in the Marvel Universe.
Okay,
Yeah.
All right, carry on.
Yeah, that's, again, Neil Adams.
Get it together, Eric.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, so there's a little baby celestial that's forming inside the Earth, and it's about to come out, and in the process, it will destroy the Earth. But also in the process, will form another planet somewhere else.
Right.
Which is, I guess, life. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that is the circle of life. Yeah. Ultimately.
So their plan is they're gonna try to put him to sleep using Druig's mind control ability.
Right.
And for reasons that he never really comes out and says, he just can't do it. And
well, I think so. They need all of the Celestials to form the Unimind,
right?
Or not the Celestials, all of the Eternals, and not all of the Eternals are on board with the plan,
right?
Like that's probably the part where I was most interested. Is like the philosophical debate about whether they should try and stop this or not. Like I actually really did enjoy that part of it.
Really?
Yeah, right. I know it's weird.
Yeah. So
because I can see both sides of it.
Yeah. So basically, Ajak knew from the beginning that the little baby Celestial was forming. And basically 5 days before it's supposed to hatch, she changes her mind and doesn't want it to happen.
Yeah, or just decides to tell Icarus, who has also known for hundreds of years.
Well, yeah, he's known. But she tells him that she's going to try to stop it.
Right.
And he is just fully on board with the original plan and will not waver. So he is just Superman out to destroy the Earth again. And Sprite, who is in love with Icarus, I guess we're told. Because we're never really shown like any kind of emotional connection between them at all.
Right.
I don't think she even really interacts with Icarus.
Not that we really see. Because she lives with
Circe.
She lives with Circe.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah. That's her connection to Icarus.
Right.
And I feel like she's... Or they all sort of look at her as the kid sister.
Right.
So, like, it's weird. It's like she just has a crush on her older sister's boyfriends. It's basically an episode of Full House.
I'll take your word for it.
I'm sure they did that several times. I can't remember specifically.
Probably. So she joins Icarus, in basically allowing the world to die. And Kingo then out of fucking nowhere just was like, yeah, I guess I'm gonna let this happen too, and then just fucking disappears.
Right. He goes off with his valet.
Sure. But like, what?
So what is Kingo's thing aside from just shooting little laser bolts out of his fingers? That's it, right?
I mean, his powers, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So like he's useless.
Yeah.
Like, no offense, Kumail.
No, yeah. I mean, he does a lot with the character, and like I said, he was like one of the 4 characters in this movie that I enjoyed.
Right.
But then, like, at that turn, I'm just like, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like his character has, up to this point, always been, he's the happy-go-lucky one. He's the one that tries to bring everybody together with love. He's all about, fame and just entertainment. And then he's just like, well, Icarus wants the world to die, so okay.
Well, it's like his sort of intense loyalty to Icarus is not very well seated.
No.
Earlier in the movie. So it does feel like a turn that comes out of nowhere.
And he keeps calling him boss, but, like Icarus has never been in charge.
Yeah. That was weird and felt like, well, Circe's the boss now because she's got the thing.
She's got the throat ball.
She's got the throat ball. So why is he calling other than maybe he just can't take orders from a woman? Like, that's honestly what it felt like. It's like, you can tell me, that's fine, but I'm going to wait and hear what the man has to say before I decide.
Well, I mean, he has assimilated into Indian culture, so, you know, it's a very patriarchal society.
That's true. All right, you got me there. Oof. But thinking about it now, it does make sense that he sort of just leaves.
Yeah,
because he doesn't want to fight his family. So I get that.
Yeah, I get that.
But
too.
also, he's kind of useless.
Yeah, absolutely. Boy, this movie.
Can we? So there was a thing that really bothered me.
Okay.
That I know you said that you really wanted to talk to me about this, and I wondered if maybe this was the thing that you wanted to talk to me about. There are references to Batman and Superman in this movie.
Those are not things that I was mentioning, but I've pretty much covered everything I wanted to talk to you about this movie.
Gotcha. It really bothered me.
But yes, the Superman one got me.
Yeah.
Because he clearly is just Superman.
Right. And, like, you could almost make the argument that, like if he had said, like, actually, I inspired Superman, haha.
Right.
Like that, you could almost see that happening.
Right.
But, like, yeah, it was just the idea that DC Comics characters exist as comic book fictional characters in the Marvel universe. Right. Like, that just bugged me.
Star Wars also exists in the Marvel universe as well.
Right. That I'm okay with.
Really? Okay. All right.
Yeah, that I'm completely fine with.
I get your point. It's weird. I thought the Batman reference was funny and could leave it alone, but the Superman one was, I think, too much for me.
Yeah.
And probably just because it is so on the nose.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be real weird when they inevitably introduce the Squadron Supreme.
Right.
And like, people on the street are just like, are they just the Justice League?
Right. Oh, people are just going to say that they ripped off the Justice League.
Exactly, yeah.
Because that's what happens every single time.
Right.
Like, I'm prepared already for the Moon Knight debate, whether he is just a Batman ripoff.
Right. I mean, that debate's been happening since the late 70s.
Right?
When the character was introduced.
Exactly, and now we're getting a whole new audience.
Yay!
Comics are great.
What do you think of that? Did the trailer for that, did you watch that?
I did not.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'll see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I mentioned last week or the previous that I've been in a weird place and I just haven't watched a lot of stuff.
Okay.
But I did finally watch the last 3 episodes of Hawkeye this past week, so
nice.
Yeah, I'm catching up. I'm getting there.
That's good.
But those so we talked briefly, I think. When we actually did the Steel episode, just sort of the ubiquitous of the Marvel Universe and just, how interconnected everything is and has to be. Mm-hmm. And I think we even openly, like, wondered, what the fuck is Eternals gonna be like?
Right. And, yeah, I think you're right, we did.
Yeah, and here we are. And... I feel like certain aspects of this would have worked better had they just not bothered to mention any of the other Marvel stuff.
Sure.
Like it just felt tacked on.
I can absolutely see that.
Yeah.
There's a feeling that I got of this sort of being generic.
Yeah.
But with Marvel stuff sprinkled in.
Yeah. I mean, it almost feels like when the Netflix shows started, they would reference stuff that had happened in the Marvel movies, but never by name.
Right.
They're like, if they wanted to refer to like they called it like The Happening or something like that, the invasion of New York, and like with the green guy,
the guy with the hammer.
Yeah. And I don't know, like. So I said I watched the last couple episodes of Hawkeye finally. Watching that and then watching this, again yesterday. Like some of the references, like even Dane Whitman, like when he's trying to figure out like what Cersei's deal is at the beginning, and calls her a wizard, he's like like Doctor Strange, and like I'm starting, like I don't know why it's suddenly bothering me, but it's like, so does just like every normal person in the world, in the Marvel universe, just know everything that's happened?
Yeah, I can see that. Like what is the level of, or like all of the superheroes have the same level of notoriety,
right? Like
I don't think of Doctor Strange as a guy who's like front and center like Iron Man or Captain America.
Right.
So it is kind of weird to hear people just casually refer to him.
Sure. And like in the Hawkeye show, like there's a point where he drinks coffee out of a mug and the mug says Thanos was right. And
right.
Like, do people know who the fuck Thanos is?
Yeah, I mean the thing we didn't see was the press conference that that Captain America held to tell everybody what had happened.
Oh, it's just like it's nerdy shit. It's nitpicky, but it bothers me.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
And yeah, I do absolutely feel like this movie, I mean, it still has huge fucking flaws. But I feel like it would have worked slightly better without, if it was more removed. Because even the Kirby comics were never supposed to take place like within the Marvel Universe proper.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He did not want it to be. He wanted to be its own entity.
I did not know that.
Same with New Gods and all that stuff too. Like he just wanted his own little corner to do his crazy god theory stuff. Going back to Guardians of the Galaxy real quick, another thing that bothers me about this fucking movie is the design of the Celestials.
Yeah.
We saw Celestials already. We know what they look like. They don't look like shitty rock people.
I will say the probably the coolest visual of the movie is the half-born Celestial just sticking out of the ocean. I really like that visual.
I do too. And it'll be fun to see that pop up in future Marvel things.
Yeah, it's like it'll be like in The Tick when Chairface tried to write his name on the moon.
Exactly.
And so going forward, the moon always just said "Chaw."
Yep. And then later on, Galactus tried to eat the moon and took a chunk out of it.
Right, and just had a bite out of it.
Oh, let's just talk about The Tick.
That's our next podcast. The Tick Spooncast.
Oh boy.
The only other thing I wanted to say is ending on a cliffhanger takes balls.
Yes, it does.
Ending the Eternals movie on a cliffhanger. The size of the balls on this movie.
Absolutely. Like even Iron Man, reined it in a little bit.
Yeah.
That was definitely ballsy. Yeah. So the movie ends. Erisham, the Celestial, returns, and he kidnaps the remaining Eternals, and just says some mumbo jumbo about judging humanity, and then disappears with them.
Right.
So basically, after they stop the Eternal or the Celestial from emerging, they do sort of. Cersei uses the Unimind and turns him into marble. So we get this cool, like, half-emerged Celestial, like, in the middle of somewhere.
Middle of the Indian Ocean,
there
say.
We go, yep. Some of the Eternals decide that they're going to go on a mission and find other Eternals out in the universe. And warn them about what their true mission is. And some of them decide to just hang out on Earth and chill.
I mean, Kingu's got a thriving movie career.
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, obviously.
Cersei's got her hot boyfriend.
Well, yeah, except it seemed like they were going to break up there a second.
It kind of did.
Yeah.
But I feel like they were on firm ground at the end.
Yeah, I mean, they probably could have worked it out, I'm sure.
I mean, he was going to tell her his secret identity.
That's right.
And then he didn't get to. So, I mean, you don't go around telling a person you're going to break up with your secret identity.
That is true.
What is this, Batman Forever? Can we talk about the name Dane Whitman?
Sure.
His name is British White Man. Like, it's so generic. It's perfect. Well done, Stan or Jerry Conway or whoever came up with that. You really, really hit the nail on the head.
I mean, it's true.
It is true. He is a British white man.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone whiter than Kit Harington. I mean, even his name.
It's true, yeah. Oh, man.
See,
anyway, that was the extent of my thoughts about Dane Whitman.
That's fine. Ends on a cliffhanger. We get our mid-credit scene with some guy named Harry Styles, I guess. And then post-credit scene, we get Dane Whitman staring at a box.
Right.
So again, this is going into this movie, pretty much the only thing I give a shit about.
Is the Black Knight.
For whatever reason, I like the Black Knight. I can't explain it. I don't think I own really any comics with him in it. He was a character in the Captain Britain and the MI-13 series.
Okay.
So I have those, but just visually and conceptually, I like Black Knight.
Was he an Avenger at a formative time in your life?
When I first started reading comics like hardcore, he was. But like I didn't like those comics.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. And so my friend Bruce, who does not give a fuck about spoilers, he just wants to know everything that happens in the movie before he sees it anyway.
Okay.
He is also a huge fan of Black Knight. So he just kept asking me about Black Knight throughout this movie. And I was like, he is literally in 5 minutes of this movie, and he is never the Black Knight. He's like, but he wears that like cool leather jacket, right? Because Bruce fell in love with Black Knight during his formative years when Black Knight was running around, when all the Avengers were running around wearing leather jackets and that stubble.
Classic. The pre-onslaught Avengers.
Yes. Yep.
Awesome.
I was like, well, I mean, he does wear a jacket at one point. I couldn't tell if it was leather or not.
It did not have an Avengers patch on it, unfortunately.
It did not, no. Yeah, so then he opens it up. They do mention the ebony blade earlier in the movie, too.
Right.
But yeah, he has the ebony blade, the famed sword that Black Knight uses, which I believe when he strikes somebody down with it, it steals their soul.
Okay.
Or takes a piece of his soul? I'm not sure. It's one of the two.
It seemed like maybe it was haunted.
It's definitely a cursed blade, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, he touches it, and it kind of like shimmers and moves, and it has like an ominous etching on the box that holds it, which I can't remember what the hell it says.
I don't remember what it says either.
Yeah, then there is a voice that comes off a screen and says, "Are you ready for this, Mr. Whitman?"
Right.
Do you know who that voice is?
Was that Mahershala Ali?
It was.
Why?
Blade,
I know
baby.
I know he's Blades. And another word for sword is blades. But why? Is there a connection between Blade and the Black Knight?
Well, they both were on Captain Britain and the MI-13.
Oh, okay, alright. You got me. I had no idea.
And they also both use swords.
Okay. Yes, Blade famously forgot his in one of those movies, if I remember right. Only reason I know he uses a sword.
I think you are correct, yes.
He has to go back for it.
Yeah, well, he has to skate uphill.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, this is a long episode.
Yes, it is.
We're still talking about the movie.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about.
It's a long movie.
It is a long movie, and it is I mean, as far as Marvel movies go, this is just an oddity.
Yeah, it really is.
So like I said, there were just large chunks of it that I did not remember, and I must have slept through it at the first viewing. And you were joking about like all the flashbacks, but you were absolutely right about that.
Right.
Like we haven't even talked about like the Mad Weary.
Oh, fuck the Mad Weary. That was gonna be my favorite joke to make. Is that this movie gave me the Mad Weary. And I fell asleep. Oh, I love the phrase "the Mad Weary."
So you haven't reached the old age yet where you have to watch subtitles with everything, right?
No, not yet.
Okay.
No.
So to make it even better, the Mad Weary is spelled M''D.
Okay.
WH''RY.
Okay, all right. Interesting.
Yep.
Huh. I don't know how I would have, if I read that, I don't know how I would have thought that was pronounced. But I don't know that I would have landed on Mad Weary. So in that respect, I'm glad that I heard it before I read it.
Yeah. So this is apparently a disease. It's essentially Eternal's Alzheimer's.
Basically. But it's Alzheimer's, but in reverse. It's because you go insane because you remember everything.
Yeah, you have too many memories.
Yes.
Oh, God. So, yeah.
Fuck the Mad Wary.
Athena, the Angelina Jolie character, has the Mad Wary. So occasionally she just goes insane and tries to kill everybody.
Right. Which, fair.
Sure.
I get it.
Right? We've met these jackasses.
I mean, who among us hasn't done that? Oh. Yeah. It's a long movie.
It really is. So, Marvel rankings, go.
Oh, fuck. Thor the Dark World. Iron Man 2. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Actually, no, Eternals. Then Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Then, I don't know, all the rest of them. And then... Daredevil Season 2.
So was that from best to worst or worst to best?
Sure.
Okay.
Your turn.
What you said, but I would switch out Eternals and Thor Dark World.
Okay, fair enough. Really glad we got to the bottom of this. Oh, I need to move Iron Fist too.
Oh, okay, all right.
It moves from 21st to 22nd.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I'm swapping that with Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know, the holiday special that's not out yet.
Oh boy.
Holy shit. Have you been watching the Book of Boba Fett at all?
I have not.
Okay, alright. Well, never mind then.
You can talk about it, because I probably won't.
I was just going to say that I feel like you mentioned that, you know, the flashbacks were the most forgettable part of this movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's sort of the same on the Book of Boba Fett. Like, it's structured with him, you know, post the events of his Mandalorian appearances. And then we also get all these flashbacks to what he did between Return of the Jedi and his Mandalorian appearances.
Okay.
And it's a slog. Like, who cares what he did?
Yeah.
There's interesting stuff with the Tusken Raiders, but otherwise, who cares?
I mean, Boba Fett's never been a great character. Like,
Boba Fett sucks!
He sucks so bad. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Mandalorian made him almost interesting for a minute.
Yeah.
But also, as I was thinking about it, I was like, you know, like, the only reason I watch Mandalorian is for little baby Yoda. Like, I'm not going to watch the Book of Boba Fett, because at least I haven't heard, it does not have little baby Yoda in it, so...
Yeah, the closest that it comes is this week's episode, which is the best of the bunch so far, and also does not have Boba Fett in it at all. Good times.
I feel like Boba Fett's entire reputation is for being the only salvageable moments of the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Right.
And so
that's
everybody
exactly
has
right.
just glommed onto that and like, oh, he's a badass. No, he was the only redeemable part of a shit show.
Yeah, he has neat armor.
Yeah, he looks cool,
that's his
sure.
personality.
But then also, we have other Mandalorians who look pretty much exactly the same now, so
yes,
who cares?
Right.
So yeah, I may just in general be going back to my old new trilogy ways of just not giving a shit about Star Wars anymore.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I would say if you're going to watch one episode of Boba Fett, watch this week's episode.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it too much for you.
That's fine. Okay. So clearly it's not Boba Fett, but is there anything bringing you joy this week?
We signed up for a free trial of Showtime.
Okay.
And we binged through Yellow Jackets, which was very good. But the thing that surprisingly brought me a lot of joy was the reboot of Dexter.
Okay.
The Dexter New Blood was very good.
I've watched a couple episodes of it. I haven't watched it all yet, but I have enjoyed what I've seen so far.
Yeah, I feel like it sort of started kind of slow, at least, or maybe I went in skeptical, and so was watching the first couple episodes through a seasons 5 through 8 lens.
I absolutely get that.
But yeah, once I got over that and started to get to know the new characters a little more, and Dexter's situation became more complicated, I really got into it and I really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. There's a moment in the first episode towards the end that made me gasp out loud.
Oh wow!
And it's such a stupid thing too. But no, yeah, like it's that moment was like, okay, I'm over the whole, just like, the last 4 seasons of the previous Dexter just sucked, kind of thing. Yeah.
I mean, it is neat to see Harrison back as a vigilante themed after treadmills. He Batman style, he picked the thing that he fears the most,
sure,
and formed his persona out of it. So that's interesting. It's an interesting development, and to see his treadmill themed gadgets are pretty fun. But yeah, it was really good. I really liked it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
What's bringing you joy this week?
Before I get into that, I have to ask about Yellow Jackets because I have not watched any of that. What the hell is that show about? I've seen previews, but I don't understand it.
Okay, so Yellow Jackets is about a high school girls soccer team who is in a plane crash, and they are stranded in the wilderness in Canada. Away from all civilization, and so it cuts back and forth between them trying to figure out how to survive in these woods, and then a few of them as adults trying to move forward from all of the events that have happened and getting pulled back into things. It's really good.
Okay, sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's worth checking out for sure. I would at least give the first episode a watch and see what you think of it.
All right, we'll do. Last weekend, I work pretty much 6.5 days a week.
Right.
I don't get weekends off, and so I have not had a full weekend off since sometime in 2018.
Oh, jeez.
And I have not taken any kind of trip since New Year's 2017. So this past weekend, my lady friend and I took a weekend off and we went on a trip.
Nice. And, where'd you guys go?
We went down to Athens, Ohio.
Awesome.
Home of the Ohio University.
Okay. I couldn't remember if that was Ohio University or Miami.
No, it's Ohio. Yep. Oxford is Miami.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
She went to school there. She spent 7 years there. And so she just wanted to go and then show me around. I had been there once in 1999. I went with a couple of my friends to see his band play.
Okay.
And I was miserable, and I don't remember anything except for getting a burrito at midnight. And just being around a bunch of people I didn't know and getting really drunk.
Was the burrito good?
The burrito was all right.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. I mean, it's memorable 20 years later.
Yeah, it's memorable as being okay. So she just wanted to show me around and like all the different places that she had lived on campus and off campus, and we did walk around the campus, which was stupid because it was like 10 degrees out.
Right.
And also Athens, very hilly.
Okay.
Lots of hills there, and I am a fat 43-year-old guy. It took a lot out of me.
Maybe it's good for you.
Probably. And also, I realized that I'm building this all up to sound really shitty, but, there was a promise of going to a comic book store next to her favorite coffee shop. But they closed.
No!
So there is no comic store in Athens.
That sucks, but also a business opportunity, it sounds like.
There you go. We thought we found one. She drove out there, but it was just a gaming store, and so, it was just a fucking waste of time.
That's the worst.
Yep. But no, it was nice to get away, and it was nice to spend, a weekend with her, and, just had a really nice time and ate some really good food, and I got stupidly drunk, but it was just nice, and so that is what my joy is for the week.
That sounds great. I'm glad you were able to do that.
Me too, and it's probably the last one for another 5 years.
Right. I mean, at least it was a good one to go out on for now.
Exactly. Yep.
Do you want to pick a movie for next time?
I would like to pick a movie for next time, if that's all right.
I think that's fine. That's typically how we do things here.
Okay, excellent. So, Joe, a couple months ago, we established that I am a huge fan of Dracula.
Mm-hmm, right.
Been obsessed with Dracula since I was a kid. I've seen a ton of Dracula movies, and you've seen like 2.
Right.
We have also established earlier, I think, but not as well, that I also really like kung fu movies.
Yeah, I feel like that's come up before.
Yeah. And sometimes I don't watch as many because I'm kind of a snob. I like to watch them in their original language if I can.
Sure.
But also, sometimes I just don't have the time to, read subtitles on a movie. In a foreign language, anyway.
Sure.
But so the movie I would like to pick is actually a kung fu movie about Dracula.
What? I didn't know that was a thing.
So, in the mid to late 70s, Hammer Horror Studios teamed up with, I want to say, Shaw Brothers Studios in China.
Okay.
I don't take my word on this. I could get this completely wrong, and they co-produced a movie together called The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires.
Okay.
And it is about Dracula taking over the body of a kung fu master, and Peter Cushing as Van Helsing has to fight them.
What? Holy shit. I need a longer piece of paper to write down the name of this movie. All right. Dracula.
So it is called The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires.
Okay.
Sadly for the listener, it is not available streaming anywhere. But if you're resourceful, you can find a way.
So I'm going to go to the library and see if they have it.
There you
and,
go.
And get it out, and then move out of state so they can never steal it back from me.
I mean, so you are just about to move. If you time it right, you can probably just borrow it from Matt Brassfield.
I'll have him overnight it to me.
There you go. And I will say that for all of our listeners. Just have Matt Brassfield overnight it to you.
Yeah, I mean, we'll post his email address and probably phone number on our social media channels.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. What's that Twitter handle again, Eric?
Ours?
Yeah, is it Viewmasters Pod?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. So yeah, well, keep an eye out there. And if you're not already, follow us on Twitter. We don't post very often.
Nope.
But when we do, there are sure posts.
There are indeed. Same with our Instagram, which is, I think, Viewmasters Podcast.
I believe you're right.
Everything's taken. and I am avoiding social media, so it is terrible. So yeah, good luck, listener, and good luck to you, Joe, finding it.
Thank you.
I have turned the podcast into a scavenger hunt now.
I'm into it, honestly.
Excellent. All right.
Oh, Dracula and the Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires.
No.
No?
No, it is just called The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires.
Oh, I thought it was called Dracula and.
No Dracula and.
Fuck.
Sorry, buddy. Dracula is in it.
Okay.
But he is not in the title.
Well, I'm glad I said it out loud again, because I would have gone searching for it, and I never would have found it. Oh, man. Okay.
All right.
We'll see how this goes.
Oh, I'm excited.
All right. Well, we will talk about that vampire kung fu movie next time.
Excellent. Goodbye. Thank you for listening to The Viewmasters. You can subscribe to the show directly at view.guttertrash.net or at iTunes and leave us a review. Visit view.guttertrash.net for email information and links to Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time on The Viewmasters.